Now let's transfer this to the idea of food.
A new survey tonight finds 1 in 8 adults might have a food addiction.
Research shows processed foods are addictive and can contribute to things like brain fog and anxiety.
Now, researchers looked at 30 of the most common cancer types, and 12 of them were obesity related.
It's abundantly clear that junk food is the tobacco of the modern era.
It's everywhere, it's in your face, it's constantly triggering you. It's being promoted all over the place, it's cheap, it's, everyone's doing it. Everyone can do it everywhere. You're smelling it all the time.
This is something that is an epidemic, and when we have other epidemics, we have to address them with everything we have in our arsenal.
Australia was actually the most successful country in the world to eliminate smoking. We were the first ones to actually introduce, and this is where it all started, was the plain packaging. It shows how much they understand about addiction and about what influences those things. So the thing about the plain packaging is that when people have the branding on the packets, there's a certain sort of identification that people have with it. I smoke the Winnie Blues, or I smoke the Benson and Hedges, or whatever it is. So firstly, there's some sort of attachment there. Instead, now it's just plain, and it's just got a picture of like a gangrene foot or like a dying baby or something like that. It's horrible. So as well, people used to do it again in social context. To put it on the table and just have my smokes there on the table. Again, it was sort of like, oh, these are the ones that I smoke. But like no one wants to see that disgusting packet anymore. So it becomes this sort of shameful thing to do. Another part of it is not allowed to be seen. So in the petrol stations and the grocery stores and whatever, it was like they had to be locked away. You can't see it. They know that when smokers, if they're trying to quit, that when they go into a store and they see them there, they're going to be triggered to want it. So cover it away. And even if you could see it, it wouldn't be as triggering because it doesn't have all the branding and all the excitement you have attached to it. The other thing that they do is where like the actual smoking areas themselves are like they're very small now. Like before, everyone used to just smoke inside, outside, wherever, and then slowly over time it was like it's only outside, and then you're only able to smoke in this one little area, and then it becomes so sort of hidden away, and so like, and also it's almost like you have to smoke in areas where everyone just kind of has to look at you and be like, oh, look at that dirty smoker. It's sort of kind of on display but tucked away. It's very subtle, but they do that on purpose, right? They have the smoking areas in particular places for that reason, right? So, and it's sort of away from everyone. So if you want to do it, you have to break away from the group and then be in this really, sort of dingy spot, so it's making it a socially awkward thing to do. And another thing is they've made it super expensive, right? So the taxes are massive on it. It's like $50 a packet. It's expensive now. I mean, it went from being super cheap, very, very cheap. It's super accessible, always there in your face. The other thing they did too was they blocked any permission for advertising. So they used to sponsor football games and ads on TV everywhere, and so they just banned all of that as well. So there's no advertising for it. You can't see it. It's all those things. So and again, when you think about the opposite of all those things, it's absolutely, it's everywhere, it's in your face, it's constantly triggering you, it's being promoted all over the place, it's cheap, it's everyone's doing it, everyone can do it everywhere, you're smelling it all the time. So when we think about this, right, we think about how much that they know about how to make massive public health changes in these very particular areas: price, availability, visibility, and social norms. Now let's transfer this to the idea of food. Right, the cheapest foods are the unhealthy, right? They're addictive. They're there all the time. They're on sale all the time. There's TV advertising everywhere. There's even on a truck, the McDonald's truck, they've got the Big Mac on there or whatever. And if you see it and you're like, oh, it triggers you and you want it. Like it's high visibility. It's constantly being advertised and promoted to you. Socially, it's a hard one. Coke has got their ads where they're showing everyone happiness, and they're all getting together, and it's all about getting together with people, and there's so many forces acting upon us to trigger the desire for it and make it easy and accessible, and And this is a massive challenge, isn't it? There are solutions to these things, and there are reasons for why it's so damn hard to lose weight, and it's so damn hard to stay engaged with a diet and a new, better eating plan, because we're just being attacked at all angles, from a public health perspective. So it's not even just a matter of simple visibility and price and there's all just market forces. This is a lot more almost evil than you think. These scientists have been tinkering with the formula of all these packaged foods to be just stimulating the right brain chemistry to get to that bliss point, as they say. The right fat, sugar, and salt. So they're just stimulating your senses as much as they possibly can to get you hooked, right? So that's happening on that end. And then you got also the marketing that goes into this as well, like the packaging, just to with the psychology of colors to get you to feel happy and to associate all these positive things to it. But then not only that, there's also the marketing and the manipulation happening from the end of the grocery stores. So they've got it just sitting on the right end of the aisle. You would pick that, and then you would pick when you get your drinks, then you get your chips right next to it. Everything is designed to just lull you into it, to hypnotize you into wanting it, and then have you hooked on it, and then constantly tripping you, like I said with the smoking, they keep it tucked away. The complete opposite here. They try and get it in front of you as much as they can. They try and make sure that it's lighting up your senses and pulling you in, and then constantly tempting you with it, having it on sale. There's like, I'm going to save some money. I'm going to, that's real good. Oh, that was nice. And then you're having it at the counter. Right, having it at the counter. It's just like you were ready to leave, and you're like, oh, that looks nice, and then you have that. Man, that sucks. Like, this isn't our fault, but it's still our responsibility to manage it. So it's got two messages here for you. Like, one is it's hell out there, staying committed to this stuff, and because of all the temptation and all the forces that are working against us, and that's not our fault. But we still have choice and power to do everything that we can and manage it as best that we can, and we have to. And then I've got another message too, which is to the government, right? Which is that they actually do know how to fix this thing, because they have done it. They have done it maybe not perfectly, but they've done it absolutely fantastically. They've done a massive, awesome job on that. Like the smoking has been cut in significant fashion. Like there's very little smokers here now, so that they know what levers need to be pulled, but they don't when it comes to food. They don't. So, I mean, but they can. I mean, and look, I don't know whether I necessarily want the government, controlling everything either, but I mean, it'd be nice to do something, I guess. But, I mean, at the end of the day, I think it needs to come from both ends, right? We have to do absolutely everything that we can, and then they should do more. There should be some sort of regulation there, because it's making it hard. It's making it hard. But we still have power, and we still have choice in life. Pay attention, do the best you can, keep moving forward, stay engaged. And the more that you can be aware of this stuff, the more, I mean, I talk about this not just to whinge about it, I do it to empower you guys. I do it to stay empowered myself as well, because the more that we can just really have our eyes open to that stuff and know how we're being hijacked, and the points at which we sort of become, unconscious and are pulled into that, rather than just just feeling victimized. We see it for what it is, and then when you see it for what it is, you have more of your hands on the steering wheel. When you have more awareness, you have more choice. So look, just becoming as educated as you can on this, and just being as aware as you possibly can be of this, you put yourself in the best position to be making those better choices to make sure your body is the healthiest and the strongest and the leanest that you want it to be. If you enjoyed that, let me know in the comments below. Like, share, subscribe, do all that good stuff. And I hope you have a wonderful day and are more empowered because of this. And I'll see you next time.